Dear all, a very good evening. I trust all you are enjoy all previous sessions with lot of learnings and knowledge shared by our eminent speakers. Without taking much of your time, let me move for our new next session, which is going to be very interesting and knowledgeable as well. With the current era of technology and innovation, we have topic golden age of innovation. We have a prominent speaker, Mr. Denny Marandure, to share his valuable knowledge and experience on this topic. Let me take the opportunity to introduce Mr. Denny Marandure. Mr. Denny Marandure, he is currently working as a CEO of Raha Liquid in Tanzania and also Genlink in Zanzibar. He is adaptive and highly experienced global player with extensive year of providing value to large international, global and dynamic Fortune 500 company. He spent many years in USA expanding his academic knowledge and then acquiring valuable work experience and skill while working for companies such as IBM, Lucent Technology, PwC, Pricewaterhouse and Cooper, and Verizon Communication LLC, which springboard his pathway to Jol Zimbabwe, the retail arm of Liquid Telecom as its CEO from 2014 until 2019. He also, in October 2019, Denny moved to Liquid Telecom South Africa as Group Executive Cloud and Digital Sales, then subsequently as Group Executive Enterprises Sales. During his assignment to Jol Zimbabwe's CEO, Denny received numerous business accolades, including being named Marketing-Oriented CEO of the Year for 3 consecutive years by the Marketers Association of Zimbabwe, Businessman of the Year Award, Ministry of ICT 2016, Customer Service Executive of the Year 2015, CCAZ Service Excellence Award, and many others. Denny also served as the president of the Marketing Association of Zimbabwe from 2018 till 2020. Denny is an accomplished, result-focused, deadline-oriented executive driven by new challenges and a desire to be successful in all endeavors. So I welcome Mr. Denny. The floor is yours. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for that kind introduction. Thank you so much. Thank you. To all your guests, your honorable guests, I'm truly humbled by this overture. Thank you, Mr. Demendra, for seeing me as a suitable candidate to be one of your guest speakers. I'm pretty new in Tanzania. Having moved here, I was appointed CEO of Raha like May the 1st, but I've only been in country for about a month and a half now. Without wasting time, let me speak a little about my organization, Liquid Intelligent Technologies. It used to be called Liquid Telecommunications, but now with moving of time, we've embraced technology. We're no longer a telco, but an intelligent company where we provide connectivity. We have the largest fiber network in Africa. We provide connectivity, we provide cloud and digital service. We are the largest gold partner for Microsoft in Africa. So that's Liquid is really helping to create an ecosystem of solutions that leverage our networks to solve the world's biggest problems. Like I said, my title today is the golden age of innovation. So at Liquid Intelligence Technologies, we believe technology joined with innovation can change the game, creating value for both business and society. I'm fortunate that my career in communications has coincided with one of the most sweeping technological revolutions this and any other industry has ever seen. We are in a golden age of innovation, and I declare this unapologetically. We are in a golden age of innovation with the tools for technology transformation more affordable and more powerful than at any time in history. We have the capacity to give anyone who wants it the equivalent of their own supercomputer, and the growing Internet of Things is transforming the physical world into a giant programmable information system. A lot has happened in our industry since 2005. Only just 6 years ago, can you imagine? Only 16 years ago. Back then, there were no smartphones, no tablets. Phones were used primarily for voice calls. Those on the cutting edge used text messages. Less than 5 years ago, the wireless industry celebrated a milestone anniversary, the 30th anniversary of the first commercial cell phone call. 3 decades later, we are very close to having as many cell phones as there are people on Earth. I think you'll believe me here because you see people holding 3, 4 gadgets at a time. Think about the innovations in broadband networks, from dial-up internet access to DSL to cable and fiber to the home, and now mobile broadband, all of which took place over the course of about 20 years, and each of which wrought a seismic shock to the established order. The landline, the telephone, took about 50 years to reach half of the world's population. So you see, the landline took 50 years to reach half of the world's population. The mobile phone only took 7 years, only 7 years. And social media, just 3 years. The advent of innovative devices and platforms, from iPod, iTunes to tablets and smartphones, and digital cameras and video streaming platforms such as YouTube, were unleashed again, all in less than a decade. The first consumer email account was created in 1992. Wireless voice and text replaced untold billions of voice conversations. Further innovations around broadband speed, capacities, and applications brought insurgent communication platforms such as video conferencing, Skype, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, the list goes on. Each new generation of technology paves the road for the next generation, but much faster than before. The internet seemed to come out of nowhere to quickly reach a critical mass. Eastman Kodak designed the first digital camera, but ignored it to their downfall. Kodak was an old company founded in 1888, and everyone in America and their grandparents knew that Kodak was synonymous with taking pictures. Remember the phrase, Kodak moment. It was coined from there. In its heydays, Eastman Kodak was huge. It employed 140,000 workers at its height. And in 1996, it was ranked the fourth most valuable brand in the United States, behind Disney, Coca-Cola, and McDonald's. When you bought film for your camera or a disposable camera, Kodak film was virtually your only option. You could buy the cheaper Fujifilm, but Kodak was winning the market game, capturing 90% of the film market. So what exactly happened with Kodak? Answer is simple. It was a Kodak moment gone wrong. Digital cameras became affordable, film sales dropped in 2001, and by 2005, film was dead gone. 2 years later, the iPhone was introduced. By 2010, the traditional cameras were losing market share to smartphones. Kodak struggled to turn a profit, and in 2012, Kodak filed for bankruptcy. Kodak was not prepared for the trends as they emerged. They wasted time protecting their old business models, while the winners caught the wave and redefined the industry. This means that timing is a critical part of innovation. Remember, we are living in the golden age of innovation. So timing is a critical part of innovation. If you don't anticipate the accelerating pace of change, you will miss the boat. Kodak learned that success in life isn't based on your ability to change. It is based on your ability to change faster than your competition, your customers, and business. Kodak isn't alone. Many businesses that were once big and controlled their own markets are no more. So in this golden age of innovation, what 5 lessons from the Kodak School of Hard Knocks can we learn? The first one, always watch for the next big thing. The most tragic aspect of Kodak's decline was that they had invented the digital camera in 1975. According to the Kodak engineer who developed it, management's reaction was, "That's cute, but don't tell anyone about it." A digital alternative to film and film cameras would have taken internal resources away from the big money maker, the cash cow, as we call it. While it's essential to capture your market as it exists today, you should never neglect what could happen in 1, 5, or even 10 years. Kodak management couldn't foresee that anyone might want to stop using film. Don't fall into the same trap. Second point we learn, never forget where you came from. Somewhere along the line, somewhere along the way, Kodak forgot what had made them big. Easy to use cameras. You press the button, we do the rest. That was their business mantra. And that was their original slogan. Easy to use cameras, you press the button, we do the rest. Instead of reinventing yourself in the midst of change, you should return to your core offerings and change how your customers interact with them. Had Kodak focused on simple, easy to use digital cameras in the 1990s, they might still be a consumer powerhouse. They also might have weathered the transition to smartphone cameras by making or acquiring simple, easy to use photo apps. The third point, technology may change, but the value offering should not change. Technology may change, but the value you offer shouldn't. Conquering your market doesn't mean you hold on to it. Kodak focused on the product film instead of the value customers got from that product. The value they got from that product was the ability to capture a moment. Seek to understand what outside factors erode your key advantage. In Kodak's case, for a long time, their key advantage for the consumer photo market was their superior technology. But when new technology, digital cameras replaced film, Kodak was so focused on film, they failed to see or recognize the value of digital until they had no other choice. Fourth point, stay flexible. Kodak was a massive company with resources tied up in research and operations. In theory, they could have pooled their resources to respond to any threat on the horizon. But while they were making a profit, almost nothing could have changed the direction of a ship their size. After they lost revenue, it was too late. Success in the 21st century will be won by agile companies who are quick to respond to change. In the age of information, the ability to make smart decisions fast is more important to growth than techniques that have always worked in the past. Final point, make change a part of your culture. Early in the 20th century, Kodak was an innovator in photography. By the time of the digital revolution, Kodak had gotten into a quote unquote, we've always done it this way trance. They had no incentive to listen to new ideas or promote innovators from within. A culture that embraces change constantly asks itself, how can we do this? The thing our customers love or value, how can we do this better? It tests new techniques, measures success objectively, and learns from its mistake. The book, Who Moved My Cheese? I think many of you have read it. It's basically a short story that shows us a simple way on how to deal with change that we may come face to face within our family life or in our work environment. This simple parable has been credited with saving careers, marriages, and lives. While the book may just sound like a children's book, it just makes it easy to apply their situation to your life. This has been my third time reading this book. And even though I've read this book before, there's always something new to learn. I was attracted by the funny title of the book, Who Moved My Cheese? But soon I discovered that its main important point is not who moved my cheese, but to move with your cheese. The book starts off when some friends meet up at a school reunion. Let me just give you a brief summary of it. A group of friends meet up at a school reunion when one person tells a story to his friend on how to deal with change. There are four critical characters named Sniffy, Scurry, Ham, and How. You can somehow figure out what each character does by their names. The four characters lived in a maze and looked for maize to nourish them and make them happy. As it is with the names, the cheese and the maize are both the metaphors. Cheese is a metaphor for what you want to have in life, whether it is a good job, a loving relationship, money, or spiritual peace of mind. Cheese is what we think will make us happy, while the maze is a metaphor for where you will find what you are looking for. It may be the organization you work in, the relationship you have in your life, or the community you live in. Two of the characters, Sniff and Scurry, are mice. They represent parts of us that are simple and instinctive. Ham and How are the little people representing those complex parts of us as human beings. So Ham, How, Sniff, and Scurry are put in a maze, and they need to run through it to find their cheese. And no matter what method they may use, the one objective they have is to find cheese. And one day they found cheese in Station C. There was enough cheese supply for them. As time went on, Sniff Scurry noticed the cheese supply was lessening bit by bit. But Ham and How did not realize it at all. When Ham and How went to cheese Station C one day, they were surprised to find no cheese. Sniff and Scurry had anticipated that already. They just started the journey to find new cheese. Ham and How could not adjust to the great change. Their minds were filled with anger and fear. A few weeks later, How decided to go back into the maze again. But Ham resisted and said he was there waiting for his own cheese. He decided to stay there and say, I'll wait here for my own cheese. I don't know who was going to deliver it for him. But How went along. At first, he was afraid that behind the doors of the corridors were full of danger. However, he discovered all he was afraid of were only his own imaginations. Nothing horrible happened, but the most depressing thing was finding empty rooms. Finally, he moved beyond his fears and reached Cheese Station N and found a great supply of new cheese there, and met up with his old friends, Sniff and Scurry, who looked like they had been there for quite some time because they had grown fat. You see, Sniff and Scurry kept life simple. They didn't overanalyze or overcomplicate things. They simply moved with the cheese. Sometimes we're like Sniff, who anticipate change early by sniffing it out, or Scurry, who quickly scurries into action and adopts. I think everyone is a little bit of all the characters that were portrayed in this book. Maybe we are more like Ham, who denies change and resists it out of fear, or How, who learns to adapt in a time when he sees nothing better. Whatever part of us we choose, we all share the common need to find our way in the maze of life and succeed in changing times. Change happens to all of us. Change will happen whether you are afraid or whether you like it or not. Change isn't always an easy choice, but it is something that we have and will always have to do. We know recently COVID has come, Growing up, I've also had to deal with a lot of changes in my life. Life is full of unexpected changes, twists and turns, ups and downs, and how you choose to handle the change that makes the real difference. While change and uncertainty have always been a part of life, what has been shocking over the last year was the coming in of COVID. Companies are closing down. People are losing their jobs. The way of life is totally changed. We've been working remotely now. The days of meetings are really gone. Working remotely has become the in thing. And remember, a corporation is a living organism. It has to continue to shed its skin. Methods have to change. Focus has to change. Values have to change. The sum total of these changes is transformation. Harold Wilson once said, "He who rejects change is an architect of decay." They rot. The only human institution which rejects progress is the cemetery. The entire logic of doing business has turned on its head. Not only business, but also every aspect of human life has been impacted by the change. What lies ahead is even more dynamic and uncertain. If you think you've seen the worst, no, wait a second. What lies ahead is even more dynamic and uncertain. So be alert for the first signs of change. Smell the cheese often so you know when it is getting old. Change is the process by which the future invades our lives. Change descends on everyone equally. It is just that some realize it faster, some changes are sudden, but many others are gradual. While sudden changes get attention because they are dramatic, like COVID, it is gradual changes that are ignored till it is too late. You must have all heard about the story of the frog in the boiling water. If the temperature of the water is suddenly increased, the frog realizes it and jumps out of the water. But if the temperature is very slowly increased, 1 degree at a time, the frog does not realize it till it boils to death. You must develop your own early warning sign, your own early warning systems, which warn you of changes and cause your attention to it. Change happens, they keep moving the cheese. I'll close with what Albert Einstein said, the great. The world as we have created it is a process of our thinking. It cannot be changed without changing our thinking. So ladies and gentlemen, we are living in the golden age of innovation. We need to make sure we are ready for any change as they come. And we must be able to smell the changes and move with the times. Thank you very much.
You are on mute, Dharmender ji.
Thank you, Mr. Denny, for your inside information. Manish ji, are we have any question?
Thank you.
Manish ji, we have any question? I think Manish ji is there or not?
He's on mute. I can see his lips moving, but he's on mute.
No, that is Deepak.
I don't think any question there. I don't see.
So he's a very insightful information. They understand all. So thank you, Mr. Denny. And I request you to open this certificate of appreciation if you have.
Yes, thank you. Hold on. Thank you for the certificate. I was telling my wife, I said, I got this present, but I can't open it until Saturday. She said, yeah, I would have opened it already.
That is why, Mr. Denny, he kept it surprise till the last moment. We
Last
wrote
moment,
such a
right?
way.
Yes, yes. Let me open it here. Don't worry, I'll be done just now. Oh, wow, nice.
This has been crafted on a local wooden sheet.
This one.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. I'm very honored. Thank you so much.
Pleasure is all ours, and
Thank
your talk has really been the golden age of towards the golden age of innovation. Today is the world of innovation, no doubt about that. And if, as you rightly said, if you don't smell it early, you will remain in the last queue. That is for sure. And what you have really told us is, yes, some of the things were really eye opener, and yes, innovation and the changes, you need to embrace those changes. You need to embrace those changes. You need to smell them well in advance, and you need to be ready for that. Even the speaker before you was talking a lot about the innovation, and the same way you have taken it further. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you,
so much
everyone.
for the practical experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Denny.